to the simulation. This is Simulation Show with your host, Noitalumis, Ep.2. The name of this episode is called Living on the Mountain, Learning to Survive in the Shuffle, and learning not to come out on the top or the bottom, most vulnerable spots, but to live in the middle, to live on the mountain. I don't know if you saw it, but last week I was on my brother's podcast, MMA News with David Romanov. It was a pleasure. We talked about some of my new upcoming music. We talked about some strategy, some UFC, some philosophy, and everything under the sun, as we talk about on this podcast. But his was kind of anchored with a little bit more MMA philosophy and mixed martial arts. But if you're not a fan of mixed martial arts, think of it as when I watch UFC, I see someone. If it was in the wild, humans have fought for thousands of years. You were like protecting your family, you're protecting what you loved, you're fighting to survive. So when these people are fighting for main events or co-main events or whatever it is, they're putting, in essence, their life on the line, their health is wealth, and they're putting it all out there for the chance to survive. And it is a very cutthroat sport. 2 minutes into episode 2, I'm already doubting making a YouTube. Doubt. I don't know why. Every time I doubt the universe, I'm always surprised. It's one of my unreleased songs called Doubt that I probably wrote 2 to 3 years ago. But here we are. You have to progress through it, release perfectionism, and walk forward. As I was saying, my brother's podcast, centered on MMA. If you don't like mixed martial arts, you think it's too violent. I don't like violence. I'm not a fan of violence, but I like mixed martial arts because it's defending your family, defending what you love, fighting for your life. And that is a simulation, an emulation of that in real time. You might ask what I'm doing shuffling this deck. The card just fell on the floor. Can anyone guess what card it is? You guessed the King of Spades. You were correct. Congratulations. Give yourself a pat on the back. You didn't guess the King of Spades. You'll probably guess this card. Do you know what this card is? This card right here. The card that's on the very bottom. What is this card? Do you know this card? I'm sure you'd like to know this card. It will be revealed at the end of the video. So stay tuned to find out if you guessed right. Put your guess in the comments, and good luck. You don't have to guess what suit. Bonus points if you guess what suit. But if you guess what card it is, you have a 1 in 13% chance. Or 1 in 13 are the odds. But if you guess the exact suit and the exact card, the odds go to 1 in 52. So, best of luck. On with the show. Music is near and dear to my heart, but where music comes from is writing. And when I write, the expression in real time with music is where it all comes together. But without the writing, the music wouldn't be anything. I write first, and then, I don't write first, I hear first. I listen to the beat, I listen to the music, I listen to the ambiance, and I understand what scene or imagery it creates in my head, and then where I want to move that imagery next. So it's like when I'm making a song, it's not like I'm thinking of the musical notes and the melodies and all these musical components. It's more of a visual, like 4-dimensional, visceral, like feeling of what's happening in the story, of what's going on, and the lyrics is just the unfolding of that story and where the scene takes us. So writing is the core of this. and I wrote this book. It's called Time is Color. This is just a proof. It is, as you can see, not for resale. I still am working out some of the margins. I need to make the space bigger in between the gaps. And after that, this paperback will be formatted to go, and then I just need to get the hardback, and then also format that, and then I should have my direct ebook up as well. Oh wow. I actually filled out. So if you see, it's actually very fitting. This is chapter 5. Green, connection through action. This is about green time. From 10:15:39 a.m. to 1:40:51 p.m., also known as 10:15 to 13:40. These are often the hours of peak energy and activity, a powerful period where connection takes tangible action. Within this green time color, one can discern 4 distinct shades or phases, each exploring deeper aspects of connection and action. The color green, abundant in nature, powerfully symbolizes balance, harmony, growth, vitality, healing, and crucially, interconnection, community, and active relationship. In this time of high productivity, the green energy highlights how our actions are most impactful when infused with genuine connection. The pace of this period, while driven by yellow's focus, now invites us to see how our output is interwoven with the larger tapestry of life. Consciously connecting with nature, with others, and with our own authentic self during these hours is a vital way to realign with the universe's abundant energy. This connection not only enhances productivity and sharpens perspective, but also reminds us that in the flow of life, nothing is lost, only converted. Our actions in this time, born from previous thoughts, become potent exchanges of energy, directly shaping future connections and fostering cycles, either isolating or deeply enriching. During these midday hours, many of us are actively engaged with others, making collaboration a natural and powerful expression of this green energy. So we are in the green time zone right now when I am recording this video. I don't know what time you'll be watching it at. Hopefully by then I will have my Time is Color scale put out. And I do have, so in the green time, I have these sections in the book where this is the green time resonant image or feeling / poetic reflection. I wrote a haiku for each time. My haiku for green time is: abundant earth's life, dulled inside, we step out now, becoming anew. And then so what I did was, at the end of every chapter, I left phrases, a place where you can put in your own poem or your own poetry or whatever comes to mind. This one's for green time favorite practices / thoughts and feelings. For me, it's eating and cooking, which I'm going to do after this. I can't wait to eat breakfast. Go on a bike ride, something serene. The feelings are serene, peaceful, comforting. Working on my passions, writing music. That's what I like to be doing during green time. It's either that or I'm out connecting or making a video to connect with you guys or recording music. After green time, it goes into blue, freedom and flow. That's the next time segment. And just to give you an idea, the segment before green time is yellow time. And yellow time is about proceeding with focus and making sure you're intentional about where you place your focus at the beginning of your day, because it all connects and it all compounds, and every day it's not just a repetition of numbers. It is, we're going around the sun that's going, I say this a lot, we're revolving around so many things that we don't even understand in the planet, but that is our perception of time, and then we put these numbers to it. And I come from, I think it's hereditary time management issues, where my mom was habitually late, and they would my mom's sisters, they would give her times that were earlier than the actual time she needed to be there to make sure she showed up on time. And my dad would always say that we are never late. My last name is Logston. He'd say Logstons are never late. I said, well, we're also never liars. So I don't know. I don't know about that one. Because I have my mother's son, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. But it's like your greatest strength can be your biggest weakness at the same time, or your biggest weakness can be your biggest strength. So I'm very good at living in the moment. And that can be to the detriment sometimes when I need to be somewhere at a certain time by a certain place. It may take me an extra 5 or 10 minutes to actually get there. And I know I could give myself an extra 5 or 10 minutes on the back end, to put myself 5 or 10 minutes there early. But I feel like I always try to, and I ended up always being 5 or 10 minutes late. So it's time and numbers, and those are great, but colors are more intuitive to me, and that's why I developed this time as color scale, where it starts off as a foundation. It's all based off of frequency and musical notes and chakras, and it goes in the visible light spectrum. So it starts with red and then goes to orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, and then there's this one small segment called space-time, and that is where the day refreshes, and that is from 11:56:31 to 11:59:59. Also known as, for our viewers across the pond, 23:56:31 to 00:00:00. So, enough about that. But there also is a QR code on the back, and if you scan that, it will take you to my website, noitalumis.net/time is color, and all the resources, all these, there's more in-depth worksheets that you can download that will give you more tools like this and more places to express your experience with the time color. So I really appreciate you guys for watching and giving some thought to this. This episode is called Living on the Mountain. I wasn't supposed to mention my book, but I got this I published on Kindle, and I still need to fix my direct ebook setup, and then I need to get the paperback finalized and the hardback finalized. But I just ended up going through a move and dealing with some family stuff, and now I finally am set up. I got the studio rocking. I recorded the last 3 days. As you can see, have my place to record videos now, and I have my office set up. I was doing some office stuff late last night with the business, just to make sure I was still in good legal standing with the state. And because I have an LLC, because I moved, I had to change my address on like 8 different things. So it felt like a Herculean task, but once I actually got it done, it was less work than I thought it would be. So the moral of the story is, when you have problems, or when you have obstacles to tackle, the longer you take to tackle them, the more work it is, because it takes up space in your mind. And at the same time, I was recording music every day and making new stuff, but at the same time I was like, shit, I need to do my homework. Like, I need to go file this form and go mail this in, and then go on 4 different websites and change all this stuff. And it's really easy, it's just taking the time and the discipline and having the focus to say, let me stop making music for 1 second. Let me stop cooking. Let me stop cleaning. Let me lock in and get the clerical work I need done. But right now I'm a one-man operation. I've been writing music for 11 years. I founded my record label a year ago, and I'm a one-man company. And in 10 years, it would be nice to have another 110 employees across the globe. So 111 employees. I think that would be more than necessary to accomplish the vision for Noitalumis Records. And the vision for Noitalumis Records simply is bringing the perceptions and the experience and the timeless music of the simulation to life and to fruition and to more ears for people to hear it. So if you want to share your light, if you want to come on the show, and we would love to, when I say we, it's me and whoever, we can have multiple people on who host at a time, but it would be very cool to have other artists on and talk about what they are bringing to the world with their craft and with their art. So I feel like I've been rambling for a while. I feel like I'm starting to repeat some stuff from episode 1, which is natural. I am gonna eat and then come back and record more of this episode. So stay tuned. I feel like YouTubers will eat and then when they go into edit, they'll speed it up. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe that'll be fun to watch. So stay tuned. Thanks for checking it out. Feel much better now. Welcome back, Simulation Show with your host, Noitalumis. I just ate breakfast. It was delicious. If you don't put bee pollen on your eggs, I don't know what you're doing. Not when it's cooking, but after it's cooked, then just a little sprinkle on top, because the heat will mess up a lot of the nutrients that are in there. So a little sprinkle on top. Not too much heat. It's delicious. Wanted to thank you for being here today. Thank you for being at the show. A little bit of a long one today, but we've only had one. The short is defined by the long. So right now, we're looking at an average length of 20 minutes. We may go to an hour in the future. We may go to 3 hours in the future. We may go to 5 minutes. So we're figuring it out, taking each step at a time, and not everything is defined. Well, everything is defined by everything else in a universe of duality. See, this is proof that I don't have a teleprompter, that I'm just thinking on the spot, and my thoughts are genuine. So I was going to say, not everything has to be defined by everything else, but what something is and what it is not essentially defines it. So it's about perception and being perceived, and without a perceiver or without a adverse viewpoint or a opposite, a lot of the times one thing has no definition. I got in a discussion on Threads, a philosophical discussion. The other person may call it an argument. I would call it a philosophical discussion. And we were talking about, she basically put out a thread saying that why I don't want to misquote her. And I don't want to pull it up right now either. It was basically along the essence of, why can't we just live in a world where evil is eradicated? Or I want evil to be eradicated. But then I was making the point that good and evil, or virtue and bad, good and bad, or virtue and evil, like good virtue or bad evil, one or the other, they balance each other out. And in a universe of harmony and balance, and if you take all the observers out, like good and bad, virtue and evil do not exist. Like the vessel of them is through perception. Because if no one is able to perceive or have an experience, nothing is unobjectionally good or unobjectionably evil. It relies directly on a observer and sentience. So I was trying to at least reach the agreement that we could make that they exist in our head or exist in our mind, like through perception. But I don't think we came to an agreement on that, which is okay. But it was a good philosophical discussion, stimulated some thought, and I'll put the graphic on screen now. But it got me to generate this image of like the philosophical concept, and it is of the earth and the energy and a like cosmic scale or cosmic seesaw of light and darkness, and made up of feathers, because everyone has like, it's like an Egyptian thing, like your heart should be like as light as a feather. It's like something like that, and that would like determine if you went into the Egyptian afterlife. Don't quote me on this. I'm not saying this for fact. This is just like what lives in my head rent free from something I heard based off something that someone heard on something. Like, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a professor. I am just a philosopher and a musician and a real person. But this image that I'm describing, it is the balls of light feathers and balls of dark feathers, and the light is heavier. It's winning the cosmic battle, and the darkness is not given as much weight. So it's really like every day you get the choice of where you put your energy and what you give weight to. Do you give weight to the darkness and the fear and the desolation and destruction, or do you give weight to creation and to hope and to strength and to family and to virtue? So it's really, the name of this episode is called Living on the Mountain. We're going to go back to that. It's about living on the mountain, staying on the mountain. Even in this episode, I could not live on the mountain because I was like, I need to eat. My brain's going crazy. So I got off the mountain. I went down. I went back to base camp, and I made some food, and then I came back up here. But it's about learning to live on the mountain. Would you like to see the card that you guessed earlier? So, if you guessed this card, if you thought it was the Ace of Hearts, you were wrong, because the Ace of Hearts is not right there. That's the Ace of Spades. As you can see, I'm not a magician. This is the Ace of Clubs. Last but not least, the Ace of Hearts and Ace of Spades. So if you guess any of these, they were not the card that I put in my pocket, because full disclosure, these were already in my pocket when I pulled the card. So I technically was not shooting you straight when I said your odds were 1 in 52. They were actually 1 in 48, and they're actually 1 in 12 of guessing. So, or if you guess the ace, you just sorry. Just take a moment to appreciate the card design real quick. This video is not sponsored by Bicycle Playing Cards. I just want to make that explicitly clear. But they could sponsor it if they wanted to. If you look on my website, there's sponsorship opportunities. And the moment we've all been waiting for, the card that everyone guessed. Did you guess it? Did you guess it or not? Maybe if you didn't even guess it, who's going to know? You might as well go throw down this in the comments right now. 5 of Hearts. As proof you made it to the end of the video. If you guys put a 5 of Hearts in the video, most people won't even make it to the end. They won't even make it to this point. They're going to be like, wow, this guy guessed it. They're so cool. I might subscribe to them. But who the heck cares what people think about you and if they subscribe? So, we're just here for fun. We're here for philosophy. We are going on the record. This is Noitalumis Records 2026. This is episode 2, Simulation Show, your host, Noitalumis.